Okay, guys, so I just posted a comparison of all of these different adaptogenic or nootropic drinks. And in the spirit of the fact that the last several things that I've been doing in terms of content have been questions you've specifically asked, one of the questions I get asked more than anything is, should I drink these coffee alternatives? Insert whatever products you want. Everyday Dose, Mud Water, Atlas Coffee. There's a one, it's like called Brain something. I don't even remember. Anyway, there's tons and tons and tons of them out there. So I took the top sellers in several different categories and I decided to put them to the test. So inside the actual PDF that you download, I talk about a lot more than the four, right? 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing one. I gotta go get a 5th cup. But I'm gonna do a taste test of 5 of them here. And all we're gonna talk about in the video is how they taste. But if you wanna know the ingredients, whether or not they fit your ancestral lifestyle, and what the pros and cons of each product are, you have to download the PDF, and the discussion is in school. So pause just a second. I'm gonna get a 5th cup and we're gonna do this. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what we have here. So the very first thing is the Everyday Dose. And this is what I actually personally prefer and drink in my own home when I have one of these. This is the little travel size. This is how it comes. When you subscribe, they give you a cute little canister that stays in at my coffee bar. Then I have Rise. So I've been asked lots of times specifically about this product. It's very popular. We are going to test the actual coffee today. But they have several different ones. They have a matcha, they have a chicory root, they have a chai, they have a regular coffee and a hot cocoa. We're going to test out the coffee because every single one, we're going to make them be the same. Then we have Four Sigmatic. Four Sigmatic to me is the original. They've been around for 15 years. They were very popular, the first one of its kind to really gain popularity. And years ago, it was what I drank because it was one, what there was, and two, it was, they were very involved in PaleoFX and the paleo community. And they also have different flavors. They have the mushroom cacao, they have a chai latte, they have a turmeric golden, which I have somewhere. And then they have their regular coffee. They also have a peppermint mocha, which we had and I couldn't find one. Okay. The fourth one is actually not a coffee. It's the only one of these so far that does not contain coffee. So lots of times when people ask me about these as coffee alternatives, because they're coffee flavored, what people don't realize is they actually do contain coffee. They just also contain adaptogenic mushrooms. So the one that doesn't contain any coffee is the Sip Herbals. And this is their sampler pack. It is called their Coffee Collection. It contains no, these are extra. Is it? No. I have the French vanilla, the dirty chai, the royal mocha. Yeah, so it is, there's 5 coffees. You have the regular signature roast coffee, the dirty chai, the royal mocha, the French vanilla, and there was a salted maple blondie, which I did not get. They gave me 2 French vanillas in here. I don't know if that was an accident or they ran out, but there was supposed to be a maple blondie. I'm not missing it. It's fine. Okay. And then the last one that we're going to talk about is actually also not a coffee. So the herbal, the Sip Herbal is an herbal botanical blend. to literally replace coffee for people who don't want to drink any more coffee or don't drink coffee or can't drink coffee. That's what that was designed for. The Calm is actually an adaptogenic tea. So instead of using coffee, it uses tea leaves, and instead of having mushrooms, it has things like L-theanine and lemon balm to help with calm, clarity, collectedness, focus, concentration. So they all kind of have similar marketing, whether they're talking about energy or focus or clarity and cognition or being able to get the job done, fighting ADD, whatever it is. They all market themselves very similarly. But what is important for people to understand is that there are now all different types of these drinks, and they are not all the same. So without further ado, I'm going to mix mine up. I want to say, if you don't have an electric kettle, you're missing out. So 5 cups, 5 packages. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, everything is mixed, and we're going to start down the line. So the first one I'm going to start with, I'm actually going to go more from the teas to the coffees. So I'm going to start with the Calm. The way that I mixed each of these up is just plain in hot water. Some of them can be made in cold water, like my everyday dose and the Calm I make as a cold latte. I make it as a hot latte. I make it by itself. You can do lots of things with them, but to, again, make everything the same, they're all just in 8 ounces of hot water, okay? So the Calm is more of a tea, but it does not have caffeine. It has a little bit of sweetness because it does contain a little bit of stevia, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. And it has those warm kind of spices of a chai, so some cinnamon undertones. It is pleasant to drink by itself, and the mix fully dissolves, so it's not a icky texture. Okay. The next one is the Sip Herbals. Now, I'll tell you, from a scientific perspective, in terms of autoimmune disease or cleanliness of the products and ingredients, simplicity of the products and ingredients, the Sip Herbals does rate the highest in terms of how aligned it is with a ancestral diet. So it tastes very earthy. It's very drinkable. The one thing I will say is that I would not put the mix in the water and drink it because it doesn't fully dissolve. It's more like a coffee ground. So probably the better thing to have done would have been to, I don't know if you can see, it dissolves, but just not fully. So it's got a little bit of sediment. And so maybe a tea bag or a strainer or something along those lines would make that even better. I went through a phase where I drank coffee with chicory root, and you'll notice that a lot of the products kind of talk about that. And so that is what this reminds me of. You can really taste the chicory in it. Honestly, I would say the only downfall I have for this is that it is gritty, and so it does need to be strained. So it's not something you can just pour right into a cup of water and drink. Okay, the next one is going to be the Four Sigmatic. So like I said, Four Sigmatic was really the first of its kind of drink like this. It is sweetened with stevia. And that's actually the reason I stopped drinking it, because I wanted something that wasn't sweetened, because when I drink my coffee, I don't want my coffee to be sweet, personally. It has a little bit of the coffee, a little bit of a chocolatey taste. It is much lighter to me, like tastes a little bit more watered down, in my opinion. we have it here because we used to have tons and tons of it, and I still have some around. Not a bad product by any means. Not my favorite. Okay. The Rise is the one thing I've not had, and I want to thank June Brower for sending me samples of it because she wanted me to test it out and tell her what I thought. And so this is the only one of the products, the 5 products I have here that I have never had before. So you'll get an honest reaction. Very coffee tasting. This is their Rich and Robust. So it tastes like a cup of black coffee. I noticed there was a little bit of sediment that didn't dissolve, but not as much as in the Sip Herbals. The one thing I will say is from an ingredient perspective, it ranked the lowest of all of them. But I can understand why it is so popular because it does give people the exact feeling of drinking a strong cup of coffee. Okay, and then the last one is the Everyday Dose. And honestly, I don't usually drink it like this. So, and I'll tell you why in a second. It does taste very much like a cup of black coffee, totally dissolved. This is the mild roast, so it's hard to say. This is the Rich and Robust with the Rise. This is the mild. They do have a dark roast. I don't buy the dark roast because of the way I make it. So, I have this probably, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 mornings a week. Sometimes I have it hot and sometimes I have it cold, but it's part of my morning routine. And so I soup up those drinks. So if I have it hot, I do what is called an coffee in the egg. And I blend egg yolks, 2 egg yolks in the bottom of a cup. I mix my hot coffee, and I pour the coffee into the frothed or whipped egg. And then I put a little bit of A2 heavy cream in it. And that's usually how I drink it. If I drink it cold, I make it part of a latte. So it's this as my coffee base. And then I use, I make with a frother, make my own cream, whipped heavy cream, put that in, and then I add electrolytes to it. So I have a salted caramel flavored electrolyte that I add into my latte if I'm going to have iced coffee in the morning. And that way I have some electrolytes to replenish the magnesium that the caffeine takes away. So I don't have it by itself usually, but by itself, it is a good tasting cup of coffee, in my opinion. So if I were to rank these, it would really depend on what you were trying to accomplish. And that is what I cover in the PDF. So all of them have unique properties and value. Figuring out which one is right for you is going to be a personalized situation. So go ahead and download the PDF, figure it out. I will say that of all of these, the top 3 are the Everyday Dose, the Ideal Home, and then the Sip Herbals. So the Rise and the Four Sigmatic ranked lowest. So you guys, tell me what you think. Tell me if you've tried them, and go download the PDF. Talk to you later.